Well, it's great that the finals are here. Probably, Shane. I guess all of us have sat here knowing for the last 3 or 4 weeks sort of where we were going to sit. So it's in part been a case of getting through the remaining games and hopefully not having too many mishaps along the way. Obviously, it gives you a chance to plan ahead to some degree, but equally you can't take your focus off week to week too much either. So it's good that the finals are now here.
After dropping a couple of games to Subi, is there anything you have to change against them this time around?
We've got to play better, there's no doubt about that. They've got hold of us both times. We're well aware of that, and there's, some things that we need to do better, as I said, but finals footy's, a war of attrition. It's basic stuff, really. You've got to do the basic things pretty well. So, we'll be concentrating hard on what we need to do well, and hopefully we can get that job done.
Is last year's disappointment a driving factor at this stage?
Absolutely. Yeah. The group is very driven to go one better, and it's great that we have an opportunity to do that, but it's just an opportunity at the moment, and we've got to make the most of it from here.
And what about being favourites? What sort of effect does that have on the group?
Oh, look, everyone will probably rate us favourites. I'm not sure that we necessarily should be. We've been probably even across the year. Subi have been always around the place, and Swans were there for a while, and I certainly know full well that anything can happen in finals. So I think every side's got certainly a chance, as Stav alluded to. Everyone's got a chance in the finals. It's very much on the day.
How many Eagles, Dorse, do you know at this stage who will be available?
No, I was wondering if Scurry might be able to tell me. No, we're not sure yet. It'll be somewhere between 9 and 12 that'll be available, and we don't know exactly yet.
So are they training with you now? I know they've finished their season.
Yeah, they'll come and train as of probably today onwards. Yeah.
And how hard or easy is that to manage in the lead up to this game on the weekend?
Oh no, we look forward to that because it's not something that we've had throughout the year, so it'll be good to have them around. The rest of the group and training together is certainly an advantage. Yeah.
Have you felt those players throughout the season have actually brought into playing for East Perth?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, they've acquitted themselves very well whenever they've come back, and often they come back, with some reason to be disappointed because they've missed out on an AFL game. So, but to their credit, they've really taken stock pretty quickly, and they've got on with the job, and they've certainly shown nothing but good commitment to East Perth.
A lot of the time we focus on the West Coast squad, but it's the likes of Lee and Wolf and Clutterbuck and Cadwallader, Fred Dobson, Mitch Fraser and Stephen Payne who put you in there. Stephen Payne has really flown under the radar. He's had a great season.
He has. Yeah, he's really come on since last year. He was in the side early last year and then dropped out for a few weeks with some indifferent form, but then came back and played the rest of the season out, and he's certainly gone to another level this year. He's been a very good, very consistent player for us. So we need him certainly contributing well on the weekend. And in reference to your first point, the players at East Perth that you mentioned have done a great job across the season. But we need important contributions from everyone on the weekend to get the job done.
How important have they been, your key East Perth people that have been around, your born and bred East Perth players?
Oh, critical. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. They've really run the show to a large degree, and most of that core senior group have been around the joint for 3-4 years at least, some longer. Wolfie's been there for almost forever. So they've done a great job in really pushing the guys along, and whoever has come back to us, they've certainly gone out of their way to make sure they understand what's required.
You were saying that Lee had great years and the back line in general been solid.
Yeah, our backs have been pretty good. Maybe a little unheralded, but they've done the job very well, and they've combined together really well, and that hasn't been easy because there's been a fluid mix go through there, I suppose, Russell. Week to week there's been different changes in personnel that have gone through there regularly, so getting that chemistry in a tight back six has not been something that's been possible. but the ones who've come in have done, pretty well in that regard.
Yeah, no, it's really sad to have your captain missing on such an important day. So he'll probably miss the entirety of the season unless we get through to the grand final. We think he'd miss. He's got a pretty severe hamstring strain there. So and Bokus, just a real shame that one of the real shining young lights of the competition's been taken out of the final series because he's done a medial and will miss pretty much the rest of the season.
You've had the players coming up from underneath reserves all year, and I guess you'll continue to do that on Sunday.
Yeah, no, we're stoked to be involved in the final series because as I think Scully alluded to, I think at the start of the year everyone had us down and winning the wooden spoon. So we're just absolutely stoked to be involved in the final series, and you just don't know what can happen when you throw young, energetic kids onto the field. And we're going to have probably 10 of our players involved in this game in their first full WAFL season. We're going to have 3 or 4 boys that have played less than 2 or 3 games step out in a really high energy, high pressure situation, and that can only mean really good things for our club moving forward.
And sometimes though, I mean, everyone didn't predict you, mate. Sometimes can you walk into a final series just happy that you're there, and how do you change that mindset to say, well, look, we've got to be more than happy to be here, we've got to have an impact?
Yeah, I think that's what we've been thinking, to be perfectly honest. We've known we're going to make it for a while now, and our record's been poor leading into this game, and we've been working really hard to make sure that these kids realise that it's a great opportunity that's been put in front of them. We've got people around the club like Mark Piani that played 175 games of WAFL footy that never played in a WAFL final, and some of these kids, this may be one of the only ones they play in. We've got a young kid like Connor Blakely, mate, that won't be at our club next year. He'll get into an AFL system, but he could go, he could go to Melbourne or someone like that. This could be his last opportunity to play in a final. It will probably be his last opportunity to play with his brother Nathan, who's carried our ruck so well for 20 games as about 194 centimetre ruckman. So this is an opportunity for young kids like Connor to step out on a really fun day and a really important day. But it's really important that as a club we get the mindset right, because it probably hasn't been quite there over the last 4 to 5 weeks.
You mentioned that poor record in recent weeks. How's the confidence levels amongst the group?
Look, it's probably off our training. I think we've never trained better than we've trained this week. So I'm really confident that we're going to be super competitive against a really good football team this week. When a young team is going through a tough period, confidence levels can drop away. I think there's no doubt that our energy levels over the back half of the season haven't been anywhere near what they were in the first 10 games. But we think this bye has come at a perfect time for us. As I said before, we've got a lot of young players in their first full season of WAFL footy, and it's a build-up of pressure. State 18s, a full pre-season, all those sorts of things. But this bye has been perfect for us to give young players and some of our senior heads a little bit of time off. Simpson's going to be a much better player for the break. Keepin, who's taken on a huge workload over the course of the season, he'll be much better for that. Nathan Blakely, as I spoke about, he's just been pummeled by big bodies for the entire year. That's going to be great for him, and our young players like Connor Blakely and Aidan Anderson and Nathan Broad and all these young pups that are going to step out on the weekend. The bye's been brilliant for us.
Do you make any big changes after a couple of weeks ago?
Well, the changes are enforced. Ames will come out and Bokhurst will come out, but we've got some guys that have been going through the reserves playing fantastic footy. We had a kid have 38 off half-back last week, a young kid that's been a basketballer out of the country, and young Ethan Hughes that can step in and play a role. Lawrence Greskos is a young boy that's played some senior footy at a really high level. We've got a heap of boys that can come in out of our reserves and even our Colt system. We're looking at our Colt system to promote players because we know that these young kids can come in and have impact because they've done it all year. So no, we're really confident that the team we put out on the weekend is going to be really fresh and firing and give a good account of themselves.
So is it more that mental side of it and going in prepared rather than the tactical stuff that went wrong a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, it's like we understand that in terms of size and strength, we're not going to be competitive against East Fremantle. Like, to be perfectly honest, like you put Mark McGough against Connor Blakely, you know who's going to win at a contested pill. So it's more mindset. Connor Blakely will be competitive against Mark McGough if he has his mindset right and he has his energy levels right through the roof. If those energy levels aren't up, then Mark McGough is going to monster a kid like that. So it's not about tactics for us. We know the onslaught that's going to come against our young group and against our young players. Because, you know, the McNamara's and the McGoffs and the O'Briens, both Rory and Brock, young, it's a really strong, mature side. And there's going to be an onslaught in this game, but if we get the energy levels right and we get our kids on top of the ground, we can really shake up the final series.
You talk about your kids, young Alex Taylor's had a fantastic year as a version of one of the quality defenders in the WAFL.
Yeah, no, I think, you know, probably all four of us will sit here and there'll be the other 5 clubs sitting and looking at their young developing players and saying that they've got players that are amongst the most improved players in the competition, but I think Alex is one of those. His ability to catch the ball in contested situations, play on talls, play on smalls has been a major part of why we're at this point where we're competing in finals. And yeah, him along with probably 7 or 8 others. You know, I spoke about Boakhurst, who won't be involved in the day, but you know, very much improved. Nathan Blakely, all these young boys, Ricky Carey, Matt Jukes, these guys have jumped out of the ground and really carried a footy club. So, but Alex Howard's been right at the top of the tree of improved players, mate.
And in the absence of talent, there's no shortage of experience. You've got players like Justin Simpson and Tony Knight, Ryan Davis, you know, they've played a lot of WAFL footy, they'll be standing for one, don't they?
Yeah, I think at the start of the year we needed our senior players and we didn't have a lot of them because Scully took a couple of them. But we needed things to go well. The kids had to be great, the mid-tier players had to really improve, the Howards and the Boakhursts, but the senior players had to really step up and genuinely lead and leave a legacy at the footy club of dragging young kids along. Davis, Simpson, you know, Geep and Knott have done that to a T. And they're one of the major reasons why we're at this point as well.
Good.
Beautiful.